life, but that was like our party cat. You know, that would always hang out with us. So it's all good. You think that far back, even though I'm on the labs? What are you feeling there?
It's a video thing, man.
All right. And you think it's enough detail to where they can still see?
They can see everything.
Okay.
Well, I'm seeing what they see.
Are you on live right now?
We're live.
And then how about audio?
We're waiting for somebody to jump in and tell us if we're live.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in. So,
Give me just a
Yeah,
moment.
there we go. Yeah, see how it looks on your side. YouTube. We're on YouTube on that one.
that's right.
Yeah.
Patrick Curry says, "Barrel buddies." Patrick Curry.
Patrick Curry, how we sounded on these lav mics, bud?
Would you please let us know if you can
give us
hear
a sound check? P Curry, give us a sound check, please, on these labs. How we
Patrick, just type in the
sounded?
chat if you can hear us, please.
Yeah.
You're going to be our sound check. Or Jimmy, if you want to log into the site and take a look.
Yeah. Actually, Chris is logging on right now.
Great.
Easy to see if we're.
Patrick says sounds.
Oh
good
yeah,
to
no, we
me.
can hear. I sound like butter. Smooth as butter.
And we're swinging around.
Oh wow. Well, it'll be delayed. Yeah, we got some delay. So. And there comes Bijan scene. Look at that.
well.
We're good.
All right, we're good.
You're right.
All right.
Jimmy, you start us whenever you feel.
All right, and 3, 2, 1, and welcome to the Barrel Buddies. I'm James,
And I'm BJ. Welcome back to your weekly booze news and reviews. And we are not in our regular location.
Yes, you don't say.
Jimmy, where the hell are we?
Well, I am so thankful to be here tonight, and we have some amazing special guests, which I'll intro in a minute, which most of you already know by the massive blast on social media that was just made the past 20, 30 minutes. And we are at the one and only, the legendary, the Vegas classic, Tenaya Creek Brewing. Ooh, this is where we need, like, can you edit this in post where you have like a big crowd cheering, BJ?
No, I won't do that to them because they don't need that kind of
explosions, fireworks.
They don't need that kind of gratuitous crap. We all know this has been since 1999 a Vegas classic, so this has been a long time in the making. As far as for Vegas, good craft beer. And we're here with some special guests. Jimmy, why don't you start on your side?
You know what? I got to say one thing, though, because Tenaya Creek holds a special place in my heart, because I will say roughly about 10 years ago, when I was first getting into the craft beer scene, as I'm sure most of you probably were, kind of our group at that time, my addiction to barley wine started here. So the infamous Old Jackalope was one of the first experiences I had with barley wine. It's near and dear to my heart. And I don't even remember at the time what barrels they were, because Smoke Wagon wasn't around at the time. So I'm trying to think of what they were aged in, but it was just incredible. And that kind of started my, falling down the rabbit hole of just crazy craft beer. And it's really amazing to see it come full circle to where we not only we see, I would say, a reawakening now of the craft beer scene and Tenaya Creek Brewing, now under the new wing of the one and only, the man Chris over here from Beer Zombies. Drum roll, BJ, put fireworks explosions for Chris.
Fireworks
owner proprietor now of Tenaya Creek Brewing, the Beer Zombies brand that all of you know and love for many, many years. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And who else do we have to your right as well? We have another guest.
It's normal, guys. It's normal. Vinny from Beer Zombies. Nice to see you guys again.
The one and only.
That is the one and only.
Yeah. Those
Curly hair, hat on top, one and only.
Hey, he's got an iconic brand.
Yeah.
This is true.
I try.
So welcome, guys, and
Thank
thank you for inviting us. I'm going to take that mic
Yeah,
back.
have that.
And thank you for inviting us for this pick. We are really excited tonight, guys. As you know, we've participated in a handful of the tastings that Beer Zombies has picked over the past few years. One of the big ones that come to mind was that fantastic store pick of the Elijah Craig. The private barrel was fantastic.
Oh, 2 Men
One of
and
the
a
top
Zombie.
picks. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Two Men and a
great
Zombie
one. Really good
was. I still think I might have a smidge on the shelf, but that'll go. I'm sure when I
We
get
keep
home.
going back to that private barrel again and again and again.
It's so good. It's really a good reference point. So with that being said, and some of the amazing picks that I know that these guys have done, when they said, hey, we got another one, obviously we were going to sign up. But we didn't know what it was, right? So we're like, regardless, we're going to show up. Then we hear it's a rare character. As Barrel Buddies fans, you guys know that I have a bit of a polarizing opinion of rare character.
No,
But
rare character
but
and
BJ
MVP.
But BJ found, like, I want BJ to talk a little bit about rare character, and I think it's going to explain a lot. Because I think based on what he says, and he told me this earlier, I'm like, that makes so much sense. So BJ, why don't you take it away and talk a little bit about rare character?
Sure. Yeah, I think it's important that we talk just a little bit about rare character, who they are and what their mission is briefly. Listen, rare character came out of 2021 when we're coming out of the pandemic. There's a lot of barrels and a lot of allocated whiskeys that had been claimed by restaurateurs and claimed by a bunch of stores as barrel picks that they weren't able to sell. They weren't able to take care of because we were closed. Things were closed. And so what they did was they were able to gain access to a lot of these barrels and a lot of these picks because of that shutdown.
Founded by Pablo and Pete. I don't know their last names,
Well,
but I know
Pete
it's
and I believe
Pete and Pablo.
Nicholas.
Pete and Pablo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so
Like Petey Pablo.
Hootie Hoo, come on, raise up.
Is that Hootie Hoo?
No.
Oh, okay, that's
Just around your.
Jumped at a beer festival.
very cool. All right.
And so they've got a mission statement which says that they're making access to this to us regular Joe Schmoes and whiskey enthusiasts who can gain access to these barrels and then pick their own favorite whiskey. So what they like to do is they like to make available these barrel picks that allows whiskey enthusiasts to pick their favorite whiskey, right? And so, Jimmy, when you say, oh, there's these rare characters that I don't like, well, what you're really saying is, I don't like
somebody else's pick. And I get that
else,
now.
Right? What they're saying is their ultimate pick of what a whiskey should taste like. Because that's really what rare character is doing. They're putting out and allowing these individuals, these whiskey enthusiasts who want to create these bottlings of what the perfect whiskey should taste like, and then allows them to bottle it, sell it, put it out there into the world and say, this is what, to me, whiskey should be, or this is what this very unique thing should be. And they specialize in bringing out really unique, very rare offerings that would not typically be given to the common man. And so I think that's something that we should really take into account, right? This isn't just something that for centuries and for generations, the common master blender has sat within a blending facility and said, this is what this tastes like. This is something that comes straight from the barrel and says, this is what this barrel produced. Either you like it or you don't like it. If you like it, then this is what it is, and this is what you think it should be. I think that's really important, and I think that's what makes rare character what rare character is. And you should take that about what rare character is when you're trying, all the different varieties that are out there, and there are a lot these days. There are a lot of different rare characters.
And I would almost take it a step further and say that it puts it into perspective for NDPs in general. So, you guys know I always knock on these non-distilling producers of like these Joe Randos that have these picks. I'm not going to go on my tirade and rant. You guys all know it if you follow the show.
Thank God.
But what I mean by that, it puts it into perspective, is after hearing that way of thinking, it puts it better into perspective for me, because I was always under the impression that, like, why are these guys picking this? Why are they picking that? Like, we've tasted, as most of you, if you follow the Barrel Buddies, we just hit our 150th show. We've done 150 crazy reviews. And, I look back and it's like, I think we've tasted a lot of stuff. What am I seeing in this that other people aren't, or vice versa? And so I think with that perspective of like, everybody's palate's different. It's a food product. It's something that not everybody likes chocolate cake. Maybe they do. But you know what I mean, right? Like that's the point I'm trying to make, is that it's different for everyone. And that the perspective is, this is something chosen by a certain group of people, and it could be hit or miss. Now, I will say this much. When I found out that the Beer Zombies crew was picking a rare character pick, it made me think twice, because at first I was like, I want nothing to do with it. But then I'm like, you know what? And then BJ, of course, BJ comes in and kind of does the,
Of course,
you know,
I do.
the sunset and big guy.
So soft
like-
on the emphasis. You wanted nothing to do with it. Okay, guys.
So in Incredible Hulk fashion, BJ was able to calm me down
I said, "Hey, buddy.
and say, "Hey, buddy,
Hey, buddy. The sun's getting a little
sun's getting a
low
little
on the
low."
horizon."
And he was able to calm me down. And I'm like, obviously. And you look at, and I'm going to go to my list here so I don't forget, but Beer Zombies have knocked it out of the park recently with some of these picks. They've done some multiple Knob Creek picks. They've done a stellar Elijah Craig pick.
Yeah,
They've done a Traverse City pick. They've done a Corazon Tequila pick. And they have so much stuff on the horizon. They have a Paladar Tequila pick coming up. They have so much stuff, and we'll get to that towards the end of the show. And I really was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a chance. Let's do it. And we're here tonight to see what happens. So I'm actually really excited.
So can we turn it over to Chris? I think the story, knowing
Yes.
that this is something that is picked to know what the perfect bourbon tastes like to them, I really want to throw it to Chris. Chris, how did you come about to this particular bottle? What is the perfect bourbon to you? How did you put your name on this?
So kind of to piggyback off what you were saying, taste is subjective, right? So I go about this with everything that we do. I mean, obviously we're known for making beer, and there's a lot of times that I taste a beer and I'm like, man, this is actually a perfect example. We came out with a beer called House on Hazy Hill 3 months ago. It was a hazy IPA with guava. It was my absolute favorite beer that we produced this year.
Mhm.
And I got multiple people saying that they hated it.
Really?
And so for me, the person that made it to be like, this is my favorite of the year. And they look at me and they go, I don't like this at all. So it's such a subjective thing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It could be food. It can be spirits. It can be cocktails. It can be whatever.
Absolutely.
So keeping that in mind, I also don't want to pick something that is solely what I only like. Right. So if for when it comes to like cocktails, for example, I like more like feminine style cocktails as far as like sweeter, and like, I don't really like super strong cocktails. So if I'm going to make a cocktail for myself, it won't be what I'd make for you, right? It would be something that we go back and forth on. But when it comes to this, I also didn't want this to be something that was solely a selfish pick where it's like, all right, we have, this yielded 16 cases and it's because I like it only. So I went into it with a mindset of, what do I think besides what I like? What do I think other people will like? And also on this, a lot of the people that follow Beer Zombies and are fans of our brand and the beers, maybe they're not into bourbon. Maybe this is like a newer avenue for them. So I didn't want to have something that was so overly aggressive or hot that it only spoke to certain people.
Sure.
I wanted the person that likes our beer and sees this and they want to take it to Christmas and share it and everyone can have it. And they're like, oh, you know what? This is very good. So that was kind of the mindset going into it. We actually did the pick at Beer Zombies downtown Summerlin. So Pete came through and he had this badass briefcase that had 10 different samples in it, and opened it up and foam lining, and we took them all out and tasted through them and took notes. And then I picked two. I picked one that I thought was more my style and one that I thought overall was my favorite, which ended up being this one. And then I also had we had a couple staff members there and we blind tasted them along with Pete. And we all kind of universally agreed without knowing it, this is the one that we liked. So that's how this pick came about. It was a couple of us guys hanging out and took about an hour going through and everything and picked one that I think turned out, amazing, and I hope everyone else does.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. And I want to, BJ, do you want to get to the details of the bottle or do you want me to do the honors?
I believe that you have the deets, sir.
All right, I
So
do
if you
have
could
the deets.
Roll those deets.
So as most of you know, if you're out there and you're big bourbon fans, or if you're not, so with these non-distilling producers, they procure their juice or their bourbon from and whiskeys from different big mass quantity distillers across the United States. So these guys, what we have today is we have the one and only MGP Midwestern Grain Products out of Indiana, the one, the only MGP juice. And you've heard us talk about it so many times on so many picks and so many different shows. And probably one of the biggest names that come to mind, especially when I talk to you guys and reveal the mash bill, is comparing this to Smoke Wagon. And I will say already off the bat that I think that there's a lot of nuances and some really good comparisons to make to that. And we'll get to that when we get to the tasting. But just going a little bit more into detail. So with this bottle particularly, and I will do our Vanna White here in just a minute, but we're looking at the
Gotcha.
high rye, classic high rye MGP mash bill, which is, we're going to have BJ do the Vanna White today. So because plus I want to get to this amazing sticker, and I would like Chris to talk to how he picked that and where did we get that, because I think this is probably one of the prettiest, coolest, eye-catching bottles that I've seen from Rare Character. So fantastic. So with that high rye mash bill, guys, you're looking at 60% corn, 36% rye, and your 4% malted barley. So this is MGP. It's 6 years and 4 months. This has been aging. And, as we kind of say, the older a bourbon or whiskey is doesn't mean that it's better.
Fact.
So especially for
That's
those
a
new
fact.
people that are just checking out the show because they're big beer drinkers, don't think that the older it is, the better it should be, because that is absolutely not the case with bourbon and whiskey.
You get barrel
Typically-
tea out of it,
Exactly. Typically with bourbons, your kind of like perfect years, I would say, is anywhere from like 6 to 12 years. There's a very broad range based on the mash bill, etc. There's a sweet
sits
spot.
between like 8 to 10.
Yeah, I'm going to go 6
8
to
to
12
10, yeah,
because
10
I've had
easily.
some young
8 to
juice.
10
that's
easily.
spectacular.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Whatever
8
you
to
want to
10.
say. Again, it's an opinion. Take it easy.
You heard it from Vinny. No, I agree. 8 to 10 is the sweet
Listen
spot.
to the guy that doesn't like Rare Character.
So anyway, I'm looking forward to it. So just going into some more deets here. So this was bottled on, looks like 6/14/2017, and then it was bottled in October of 2023. And do you know how many bottles this yielded, Chris? I'm going to have you answer that.
16 12 packs.
Okay, so they got 16 12 packs, so about a barrel's worth. So
Yeah.
you're looking at what, about 180-ish right there. And then talk to us about this sticker. So where did that come from, this label on the bottle?
All right.
Amazing.
So the funny part is, I think I went back and forth on the sticker longer than I did on the actual pick. So obviously, Beer Zombies, the logo is very iconic. It's the hop beard. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So your first instinct is to put that on there. But I felt like it was such a small, it comes up small on here. So then I started cutting it down, and then I sent it to Vinny and went back and forth. And I realized I liked the way that it was laid out, but then we didn't know, do we want it watercolors? Do we want it this? Do we want it that? So I must have done, 10 different designs and kind of sent him over, and he would be like, nah, I think it looks better this way. And I think we actually ended up on the first one, the first one that was ever on. So legit, it probably took me a week of going back and forth on that. But the idea was, we have a lot of outlets that serve bourbon. So I want this to be on the back bar when someone's sitting at the bar, and maybe they're at one of our different places that's not a Beer Zombies. They just go, "What is that?"
Oh yeah.
It's the eyes are looking at you. It's inviting. Yeah, it has that thing. It's just, it gives you all what you want. It's a conversation piece on a back bar.
It says Beer Zombies to me.
It says Beer
On a
Zombies.
whiskey bottle.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's literally what it says. I mean,
But yeah, I do think that the going back and forth on the label took longer than the actual pick. But that's also because it was right away. When I was doing the pick, I think this was like the third one. I knew instantly. I was like, this has got to be the one, pretty much, And then even tasted the rest of it was right there.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, you know what? Now we got to have the big drum roll. BJ, edit that in post. Let's get into the taste. So, BJ, why don't you tell us how we rate things here on the Barrel Buddies?
Yeah, I'd love to. Just as a reminder for everyone, we rate things on nose, taste, and value. So we take the nose, we rate that on a scale of 0 to 3. The taste, how well we like the way it sits on our mouth, the flavor profile, again, 0 to 3. And value, based on the cost of this bottle, is this something that we think is a value? Is this something that we think is a total barrage, a jip, or is this something that we think is, right where we think it should be? Again, kind of subjective, but it also is very much rated up against what we see in the common day marketplace. And then we have our blown away bonus, one additional point that we can throw out there as a bonus point. For
Well, yeah, because that's
blown
what,
away.
3 categories out of 3 points. That only comes out to 9.
9, and then you get that blown
Yeah.
away bonus to get you to that 10. And then we'll bring you around. We'll give everybody an out of 100 using that category to give you an out of 100 score.
Yeah, and all of that can be given in halves, and we've done that before,
Yeah,
obviously.
for sure.
So, all right.
For sure.
We've already given ourselves some pours here, so we're going to jump right in. And
As Jimmy said, this is a high rye mash bill. It's not a rye. It is still a bourbon. It's just a high rye, which means that it's got a higher rye content than what we typically see in your bourbon mash bills. That's typically anything over 15%, remember. anything over 15% rye. As he said, I believe earlier, 36%. So this is trending very high. But I like that. I like a good spiciness, especially this time of year. I like something with a little bit of a rye kick.
I totally agree with you. And you mentioned like Christmas time. I think right now everybody's really into those kind of like heavy, rich, spiced, flavored, and smelling whiskeys, bourbons, whatever. And I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat, I get that spice, those spice notes, but more of like on the peppery side, kind of like black cracked pepper, bit of ethanol heat, but then there's like an underlying sweetness. Very, very pleasant, very, very welcoming that I didn't actually expect when I first tasted this.
So this is interesting because we've left this one poured and sitting out. It's been sitting out taking some oxygen.
And I think that's done nothing but helping it.
It's
So giving it some...
nothing but helped.
Yeah.
We took this earlier.
Sea salt caramel cookie.
Oh.
Sea salt caramel cookie.
See, I'm
Yes.
The cookie.
all the green apple on the nose now.
Tons of green apple.
Now-
Holy moly.
Oh, the green apple.
So I said green apple earlier, but
Oh,
I'm
that
green apple bomb.
I'm getting a ton of that sea salt cookie. Like a cookie butter.
Yeah.
Cookie butter and salinity. There's like a perfect salt water that is like electrifying and opening up the palate that I think is just fantastic.
And
the
here's
smooth cookie butter, like Trader Joe's cookie butter right out of the jar.
100% agreed. And here's where I think they differentiate with this pick from some of those other names I mentioned earlier and other companies is that it doesn't conflict. So when you think of high rye and you think of MGP, sometimes the taste
good.
can get very muddled. And what I mean by that is they're like, whoa, so listen here. So we got this really cool rye spice and apple, but then it goes into a really rich buttery flavor and then peppery. And then you're kind of like, wait, that doesn't really go together. And
But
you
they
have these
do.
like really weird conflicting tastes.
They go together.
But this doesn't have that. This doesn't have that conflict. I think
I feel
that
like this is like more like layered.
it's layered.
it comes in
Can you
like
give Chris the mic?
Absolutely.
No,
Yeah,
I 100% agree. I feel like a lot of times when you start tasting things and you follow these flavors, your head gets confused.
Yes.
Where this, it's like, all right, I smell right off the bat, I get that cracked pepper. Then it opens up and I get that green apple, and then it ends in that sweetness, which to me it was like a creme brulee, but I totally get like the sugar cookie, like the sea salt, like a snickerdoodle type thing going on. Yeah,
Snickerdoodle's a
But
good
it-
call out.
Black pepper snickerdoodle.
a black pepper snicker.
but it's not all at once. So that's
sounds
yeah.
good. Oh, it's not appealing.
But that's the crazy part. It's not all at once.
Yeah,
It's
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 layers.
flows.
boom, 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 which is
It
nice.
flows.
But I will say the green apple is screaming now. I mean,
It is.
I'm
It's
getting
like
that
a-
in my second sip.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like
Do you
like a-
think
yeah,
it's
dehydrated
because
green apple.
when we opened the bottle and we poured, we were all on the same page originally?
Yeah.
It was peppery.
Definitely
And we loved
peppery.
it for that
But we
aspect, but
literally chugged it right when we poured it.
Yeah, but
so we
allowing
didn't
it
give
to
it any
breathe
air.
now,
We didn't
I'm-
let it
I'm-
breathe.
it's almost like I'm drinking a completely different.
100%.
It has way
Whiskey.
less heat too.
I think
Yes.
I think that letting the air get to it has really rounded out flavors. And I think Chris is saying it right. You get things that are maybe conflicting, but it really flows, and it flows in a good hierarchy. Nothing is conflicting. Look at that. It's like all kind of conflicting, or not conflicting. It's all kind of like digesting, and it's like sitting in my stomach well. I think it's great, and I am starting to get that green apple the more I'm getting into this. That first taste though was like salty cookie butter. It was like that salty Christmas cookie. I thought that was just delightful. What a welcome gift from the cup. I do want to get into the chat. The chat is
Please do. I'm
minimally
sure we have a lot of
active.
chat. Yeah. What do we got?
minimally active. Just a congratulations from Mrs. Askins to the Beer Zombies team.
Oh, thank you very
And,
much to the team here.
congratulations and a hello from Uncle Punky out in Lancaster.
Oh, our
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania crew
And a
represent Uncle
welcome
P.
back.
Welcome back from your big trip.
Yeah, he was just in the Mediterranean and sailed from the Mediterranean all the way back over the Atlantic. So welcome back, Punky.
True
That's a
story.
story.
True story. And we're saying Uncle P is also our Amish connection in Pennsylvania.
He is our Amish
So
connection.
when we need that, we'll let you know if we need an Amish fireplace, an Amish buffet, or Amish whiskey.
or
We'll let
Amish
you know.
Amish pictures,
Maybe
even
they
though
don't
they
drink.
shy away from them.
I don't know that they drink.
Well, you know what they
They're
do? They
contemporary.
offer this great whiskey out of Lancaster called
Thistlefinch.
Thistlefinch, and I had referenced that earlier. That earlier I thought there was this very green rye, pasteurized.
There's Thistlefinch
flavor.
rye is very close to this.
And I thought I was getting some notes of that. I don't get that in this aerated version. Straight from the bottle, yeah, I'm getting a very green, fresh, straight off the farm rye. But as it sat out and the surface area was able to breathe off that ethanol, I don't get that so much.
I was gonna say, I think it for the proof, it doesn't drink hot for the proof at all.
What is the proof again?
117.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. 117.4.
4. I couldn't remember.
Yep.
0.4, 0.3.
And so it's coming in at 58.7% for those out there that.
But it doesn't drink like that at all.
No, not at all.
No.
Drinks easy.
So
Yeah. I round up and say, does it drink like a 60%er? No. You think of like a straight from the barrel, like some Blanton's or something out there, doesn't drink that hot whatsoever.
But that kind of goes back to what I was saying is I wanted this to be geeky enough for the bourbon people,
But
and
approachable
enough for the average beer fan that wants to try it.
Absolutely.
And that was really
Absolutely.
what I went with it on this general with the pick. So
I think it checks all the boxes. We're going to get into our actual rating now. So BJ, I'm going to have you start us off with giving us our nose, and we're going to actually go
Sure.
down from you to Vinny to Chris to me,
I'd be
and we're going to
honored.
give our
Thank
0 to
you.
3. And I almost don't want these guys to rate it because I'm sure they're just going to be like 3, 3, 3.
No, they're gonna be they're gonna be objective. They're gonna be objective.
Are they going to be objective? I don't know. Okay. We will be
Listen,
though.
One of the things we didn't talk about tonight was
will be.
legs for days. Legs for days on this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The legs in this glass, they are long and they are close together.
Long.
Long and close together all the way to the bottom of the glass. Yeah, so I'm just going to go with the nose. I said this earlier, and I'm going to say it again. I like a bourbon. I like a whiskey that is complex. I like something that I can sit with, that I can enjoy, that I can chew on.
Do you know what I want?
It makes me think.
Can I interrupt? Do you know what I want with this? This is one of those whiskeys that I finally would say checks the box of having a big old cigar in the backyard,
Oh, I would
sitting on a
disagree.
chair in the backyard,
100%.
looking at the pool.
Why?
Why do I agree with him?
because he likes cigars. That's
I love cigars.
Yeah.
That's exactly why. It's exactly why.
to me. I was like, nope. You know why? Because I don't like cigars.
Yeah. no. I
For our cigar crew,
The thing
Yeah.
is, I could smoke a nice bold cigar.
yes,
And then have the
and
spices
still-
come through with
yes,
this,
and
that's
complement it,
why.
and complement
I
it,
actually, so he's on the same
100%.
page as me. As long as we're on the same
100%.
page
But
with
if you
that.
don't like cigars, it does have a little bit of that tobacco in there already.
I think you're right.
You know,
I can see where you'd want a cigar with this, but I wouldn't want the cigar to dull my palate and for me to lose out on some of the complexities.
Yeah, you know, I'm not
lie
talking
within
about
the
like
cigars.
a beefy, meaty punch or something
So
along
what you're
those
really
lines.
saying is it's for everyone.
Absolutely,
100%.
Okay, so it's
absolutely.
I will tell you that in my score tonight, that this is a super approachable single barrel.
Even if you have your apple pie elf bar, you can still go in the back and suck that down and drink
apple
this.
pie and this would go together.
100%.
You've never smoked a vape in your life.
No, but just
No.
apple
I can-
pie in
Maybe
general
tonight's
would be
the night.
with
Perfect with this. 100%
Um,
agreed.
So knowing that complexity, I would tell you this. I think there's a lot to discover in the nose. We talked a lot about there's black pepper. There is
But in a pleasant way, right? Because you say black pepper, and
Yeah,
sometimes
it's
that's
not
a
a turn-off.
polarizing,
It's not,
but
yeah.
not
It's
in
not
a
a
bad
turn-off.
way.
it's like, why do you add pepper when you're cooking to a meal?
Right.
Why is pepper on the table when you sit down to a nice meal? Because it's an enhancer. It is an enhancer. And I think that pepper here, we talk about fresh cracked black pepper, it is acting as an enhancer, right? It's one of those things that literally sent people around the globe
Right.
in the 1700s, the 1400s, the
For pepper.
1500s, because it was such an enhancer. And I think that's something that really does well here. There's a good freshness. I think the rye plays well to the freshness here. I think on the palate,
Can we just have everyone kind of throw out? Let's say everyone throws out two things they get on the nose.
yeah.
All right, let's go down.
Roger Rabbit. No, right off the bat. I mean, it's hard to say after everything you said right now. I want to say almost like a sweet pepper.
Yeah,
That's what I get from it.
that's fair.
But
Sure.
it's strange. Like you were saying, I'm getting the cracked pepper, but it's almost like, like in Willy Wonka, when like you get like the TV dinner, and she's like, "Oh, I'm tasting mashed potatoes, and oh, I'm tasting
Yeah.
the Salisbury steak, and
Yeah.
I'm tasting this."
Yeah.
I'm getting a few flavors through it. I'm getting my dinner, and I'm getting my dessert. Especially when I smell it. I'm getting the pepper, but I'm getting the sweetness.
Chris, throw two
I
at us.
agree.
What do you get on your
Yeah,
nose?
so I think now going back and forth, to me, it's thin sliced green apples with mascarpone.
Wow.
With
Oh.
mascarpone?
Yeah, because I
Mascarpone
thought it was
cheese,
more like a
yeah.
creme brulee. I thought it was
Good
more like a
cheese.
sugar cookie, but it's
That's a
like
good
that.
call-out.
It's like that small bit of sweetness,
good.
but
A
creamy.
little unctuous.
Yeah.
A little
So
bit of-
thin
A little
sliced green,
umami.
very crisp, fresh green apples and mascarpone.
What
I
brings the
like
spice
that.
for you though? You're not getting any
No,
spice?
I'm just saying those. If I'm taking
two?
two, those are my two
Sure.
dominants.
Those are good call-outs. I like that.
I would definitely resonate off that, and I would say green apple is one of the prominent notes. And friends, I got to tell you, it is far and few in between with some of the bourbons that we have that exemplify that green apple note. And when you find it, I think it's a winner. I almost dropped an F-bomb there. I think it's a winner. Very enjoyable, especially for the holiday times. As BJ mentioned earlier, we got Christmas around the corner. We got all of our holidays coming up, and that green apple, the cracked black pepper, like black and pink pepper, really come through in a pleasant way. I think that you get a lot of complementing the nose notes.
I gotta jump in
that
for a
do
minute.
lead right into the taste. Beej, what do you
So
got?
I just added a couple drops of water to mine.
You just cut it.
Not cut it. I just added a couple of drops of water, right, to change
Okay.
its molecular structure. I didn't want to cut. Just a couple of drops of water. When I added the water, the apple pulled through.
Well, that's going to turn it to an apple
turned into
bomb.
a Jolly Rancher. It turns into an apple fritter.
That's insane.
It's
Okay, that's
nuts.
ridiculous.
It's nuts.
That's like apple Jolly Rancher.
That's what I just said. Apple Jolly Rancher. It's like a green apple Jolly Rancher.
Apple Jolly Rancher because it subdues the pepper.
But this is funny because this plays into exactly how I like to drink my brown spirits. I
That's
drink
good.
my brown spirits on a rock always.
Do you?
That's how I enjoy it.
Okay.
Here's
I drink my tequila neat.
Okay.
I drink my bourbon. I like to have a rock in there. I like to have that little bit of cooling sensation, especially if you have any like minty flavors going on. I like to have it, when I get that first sip, it's there, and then it starts to proof down a little bit. So to me, now adding the water, this is even plays into more of the fact that it does go off of my taste buds. This is what I like.
Wow. This is like brown sugar and apple, like a baked apple pie.
It's baked apple pie. It's
Right.
But here's the thing. Here's like don't
guess your guys' cigars don't sound so good anymore.
Not anymore. That's what I was saying.
but don't. Here's the thing. Like don't be like it's not all sweet.
No.
So there, it's not cloyingly at all. But you have to remember there is still that spice. There's still that black pepper, pink pepper that comes through in a very pleasant way. It no way drinks like a almost 60%er. I'll tell you that much. I'm going to jump right in and give my nose rating, and I'm giving it a 3 on the nose.
Yeah.
I'm jumping right in on the 3.
Agreed.
So nose, I'm giving a 3. Then we're going to get into taste. Then we get into value. So Chris, if you'd like to give it a,
I'm gonna give it a
nose
3.
I'm not going to give it a rating because obviously
Sure,
I picked
that's
it.
fine.
Yeah.
I will say that the nose it's inviting.
Absolutely. I would
It's
agree 100%.
there's nothing in there that's abrasive. I think that if you take it to somebody that doesn't drink bourbon and said smell this, they'd say, "Oh, that smells good." And I think that's my rating. It smells delicious,
Vinny, what do you got over there?
I think Chris is being very humble on this. I think the smell, the nose, everything on this is a 3. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's.
I don't give 3s that often. I'll tell you that much.
It's really good. I mean, you're getting so much off it. So like you said, it's inviting. If I smell that, I can't wait to drink it. So that's where I'm at.
BJ, what do you got?
I can't agree more, because one of the things that to me by adding this water has really come through is there is a buttery, flaky, sweet pastry flavor and nose that has come through that I think is bananas, and not just bananas, but apple pie. It's crazy. It's crazy good. Listen, we don't get this very often. Yeah, that's crazy good. It's crazy amazing. You've seen me add water to spirits before, Barrel Buddies.
Yep.
And I will tell you that it does not always go well. In fact, it goes quite the opposite very often.
Yep.
But putting
As
water
we all
into
know.
this has really brought through some of the best characteristics of this particular spirit. And that makes it just a blaring 3 for me. I'll snake it
All right.
back. I'm going to jump into flavor profile.
Oh,
Again,
right to the taste.
I'm going to jump right into the taste.
He gave a 3.
Oh, you have a 3?
He gave it a 3.
100%.
3.
That's wow.
threes
3
all the way around.
threes.
3.
Okay, we got 4
There you go.
threes. There it is.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
Listen,
Okay.
It's a 3.
It's a
It is. It really is a 3, and that is not.
I know you're trying to be humble.
No,
but
I know.
Not at all.
This is good.
It's 3.
It's crazy good, and I would tell you too that the flavor profile, while it's not very full bodied, I don't think of this as a very full bodied, coats
No.
everything.
No,
I
I don't expect
bourbon.
that as well, though. I don't
Um,
expect that full bodiness,
No,
and that's not a bad thing.
but
It's
again,
just
I like something that has a lot of
complexity.
I feel like you're getting extras from that complexity, though. Like you're expecting something from this, and you're getting extras, which makes it complex.
I agree, and I also like something I can chew. And for such a
You can
high
chew this.
percentage, I can hold this in my mouth for a long period of time.
Yeah.
That gets extra points for me. So, listen, this apple, this grassiness, this freshness, this great mental
Freshness. I love how you put that.
It is. It's an herbal.
What did you
freshness.
say? What was that? Mental what?
Mentholyptus.
I like that.
And I'm also going to go
Mentholyptus.
with a
yeah.
salinity. That's a
Oh.
that's a Vinny.
Use my words.
That's a Vinny pick out. And he was
Wow.
right. When I heard him say that, I went, "Oh my God, you are correct."
It is.
It's
You
it's
get
something.
almost like a
it's
Scotch
like a
salinity.
nice salty cookie.
I described
Wow.
it as I took a shot of bourbon, got swiped down by a wave, tasted the ocean in my mouth, and walked back to the beach out.
Yeah. Listen, again, it's not just because of who I'm
Wow.
with. It's not just because of where I am.
Not at all.
I think this is a 3 as well. I think this is a delightful pick. I really enjoy it, and I could find myself making this a daily drinker and something I'd go back to. I'd give this a 3 out of 3.
Well, let's be honest. At the end of the day, every time we do this, I feel like you guys want to talk shit. And yeah, I
See, Vinny knows. Vinny knows. These guys know. They know.
like we want to talk,
Especially
shit.
Jimmy over here. I can't
I
wait.
wanted to last time on the
Yeah,
Knob
you wanted
Creek.
to talk so
Guys.
bad on the Knob Creek.
Guys, I was
I
waiting for this,
I
and not in
did.
a good way.
Like I really, really, really felt like James was going to talk shit on this.
Yes.
Oh, I was so
Oh, and
afraid
I
he
was ready.
I
You
was
guys
so
know
afraid he
me.
was.
You
And
guys
then he
know
tried
me.
it, and then I was like, ha, ha, ha. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
It was kind of like I told you so, and I kind of had to like,
Yeah.
yeah, wow.
Overall, I'm just happy that we're able to pick something that tastes as good as it does, but at the end of the day, we're not going to put something out that we don't want you guys to like. I mean,
Exactly.
this
I'm not
is
going to put my logo on something that I don't like.
This is
100%.
absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic, like all the beers that we produce and everything else. And at the end of the day, I think we, complexity-wise, nailed on every level.
Nailed it.
God, I'm going to use that as a quote. That's going to be its own called out moment by tomorrow, just so you know.
All right, so what are you giving it for taste?
Give it a number.
I'm sorry, man. I'm going 2.75.
Okay.
Okay, 275. I like that. Beach, what did you give it?
I give it a 3.
Wow. Chris, are you going to abstain and then just hang tight, hang back? Okay.
I'll put the whatever it was going to put. I'll add 2.25 on top of it to make up for his.
His misgivings. Understood. I'm giving it a 3, guys, on taste.
Oh my God. Okay, we just end this. We're going to end it. Listen, it's over. It's over.
explosions post,
It's done.
quit.
It's over.
Explosions.
Done. We're going to give explosions. It's going to be corny, but I don't care.
And here's why. I'm going to justify it.
Wow.
It's not just because. Here's the thing.
Okay.
I always talk about this. I talk about this on all the shows. There's so many NDPs out there that get just really bad dog water, as I call it. They just get bad stuff. They get bad juice from Dickel. They get bad juice from MGP. They have some corny backstory where you have no interest in it. And you're just like, I don't care. Like, oh, this is Joe Bob's uncle's brother started this distillery after he found the recipe book in his mother's safe after she passed away 10 years ago. And during a storm, the warehouse got destroyed. And these barrels aged in the sun for 10 years. And they're amazing. it's all BS, guys. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is not BS. And for an high rye MGP juice, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I love Smoke Wagon. I love Aaron at Smoke Wagon. I love everything he does. This is probably the best
that's not
example
true.
of a high rye MGP that I've had to date. And it kind of hurt me to say that, but it's the honest truth.
A little like
It's the honest.
I got you.
Are you okay?
I watched him. He struggled.
Are you okay?
And the reason why, here's the reason why. The complexity is there. And that's what I always judge things on. And I want to reference this, and I can't believe I'm about to compare this to that. It's very reminiscent of the complexity and the layers in an E.H. Taylor barrel proof.
Wow.
And that is such a bold statement that I just
He just listed my number
Just to be
number
fair,
one.
this is only the
number
second
one
little pour you
favorite.
had.
It's only the second
not-
pour.
it's not
No,
like
no,
we've
no.
done
It's not like
three
we've been.
Hold on,
yeah,
we're
it's
gonna
not
call
like we've
that
been
out.
pounding this
Hold
all
on,
night long.
Jimmy, hold on. We got to turn it over to Vinny.
You know,
here.
you just that's my favorite.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's my
definitely
favorite.
putting it head to head against this.
Fuck you.
You can't say that on YouTube.
yeah. Shh. No, you can say whatever you want. So here's the thing.
Wait, Vinny, do you deny it? Do you deny it?
Up there, but you're just gonna go with
No.
my favorite right off the bat. But
Come on. Are you upset? that-
Chris put it best, guys. It's the
Okay.
layers.
It's
It's
up
the
there.
layers that complement each other.
Yeah.
And what I appreciate it is that they're
text
unique
somebody, bring me
layers
next to
that you wouldn't expect. Like that salinity goes really well with the creme brulee.
Oh,
Surprisingly
that's
goes really
not
well
his
with
plate.
the cracked pepper. Surprisingly
would be
goes really well with
delicious.
the green apple. And like all of these layers gives it a depth where every sip I take, I still kind of like taste it.
Just add
It
water,
lingers.
man.
And
Add some water.
there's so many whiskeys that miss that
Just a little.
that like if you want a good bourbon and whiskey, you need that. You need the layers, you need complexity, you need the lingering effect. And this kind of checks all those boxes. Scarily checks all those boxes.
smells so much better.
It's insane.
I'm giving it a 3.
That was impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
But it does.
It
Like
does.
I said, it hits all those boxes. It,
It
gives
really
you that
does.
little bit of tongue numbness in the
Yeah.
front that you want from something that's a little bit
Close.
proofed up. I mean,
Yep.
it does. It literally, if you make a checklist, it just goes check, 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 check,
Yeah.
check, check. And
So-
at the end of the day, it's still
If
approachable.
this was
Exactly.
made
It's
to
still
be like how
approachable.
that was
It
made,
checks all the
this would
boxes.
beat it.
So even if I don't want to give it a good rating, I have to give it a good rating
wasn't
because
made
it
to be
checks
like that.
everything that I personally
So it's
rate
not gonna be.
and like when my mind
That's
tastes
my-
something, I'm like, all right, does it check these boxes? And these are my mental
amazing.
boxes that I'm checking. Like, is this is a good, solid pick?
Tell you guys right
And it
now,
checks
I
those
ain't gonna-
boxes, so I
if it
can't
ain't
I
good,
can't
I'll
say
tell it ain't
it's
good.
not
All right.
good. And on taste, I'm giving it a 3.
But yeah, that's solid.
I'm giving it a 3 on taste.
I I
PJ's
feel like
completely
we just need to quit the show.
speechless.
Yeah.
This is it. For the Barrel Buddies,
Pick for you guys because
we're done.
It can't get better.
Can't get better.
No, I know.
For the Barrel Buddies,
Um,
we're over. 152 shows, we're out. We nailed
All
it.
right. So we're gonna snake
You're
it
gonna
back.
us back for value.
I'd actually
Hold on a
like to
second.
put some ice for you for the next show.
Oh, we're
Like it'd be fun to do it like neat and then with the ice.
yeah, I'd definitely like to cut
I'll
this
go,
with
like,
some
old
ice.
school, I'll do like an igloo cooler and just throw in the
Yeah,
freezer and
yeah.
call it a day.
There you go. We're gonna snake it back, and I want to talk about value. So, Chris, how much does this bottle run?
It's gonna go $89.99 on the shelf.
That's a good deal.
With the
Guys.
That's a good
Let me
deal.
double check.
That's
Okay.
a good deal.
Like I said, so it just literally went out today, so I'm just double checking the price.
He's gonna double check
double
the
check
price.
for you, but
$89.99 on the shelf.
$89.99.
$89.99, guys.
Uh,
Here's the thing:
Currently,
the world exclusive at our one and only Corey's
That's right.
in Henderson.
Big thanks to Issa for bringing it in because I know they have a ton of picks and a ton of stuff going on.
was
with
that
the rare-
Ionian Eastern?
Yeah, the rare bourbon raffle.
Yeah, Issa, you're a champion. Thank you, Beer Zombies. Thanks you.
I
I
We
do want to
Barrel
throw it
Buddies,
out there
thank
right
you.
now
Please
that
do.
if you do go down to Corey's Fine Wine and Spirits, any purchase of anything you guys buy will
Raffle
go
ticket.
into the raffle for
Raffle,
Christmas.
the big allocated bourbon raffle.
very big
Guys, this is the
allocated.
best raffle in town. If you want allocated,
And
Tater
this is
bourbon.
the only place you can get Beer Zombies rare character right now.
so guys, you heard it here first. You need to go down to Corey's. You need to go talk to Issa or just talk to any of our friends over there. We have so many friends over there.
Please.
Talk to Melina.
Don't tell
talk
me you know
to
me.
Whoever. Don't tell me you know him. But
You're
look for it on the
definitely
shelf.
telling me.
You're not going to miss it with this amazing label. $89.99 for the value. Jimmy's giving it a 3. It's sneaking back to Jimmy. That's insane that I just gave this a 90. I'm not giving it a blown away bonus because I'm reserving that for, I don't know,
Something.
if I was
For
erect
next
right
Beer
now.
Zombie bottle?
But for the next Beer Zombies bottle. But Jimmy's giving it a total score of a 90. Because here's the thing. In today's time and economy that we're in, one of my biggest gripes that I always like, how dare New Lou and Good Times try to charge $150 for some 6-year dog water. Guys, you can get the complexity, you can get that layers of that just amazing complexity of a whiskey and a bourbon that I'm actually comparing to an E.H. Taylor barrel proof for $90 right now.
It's insane.
You need to go to Issa. You need to go to Corey's tomorrow.
Yep.
And you need to get this bottle.
Or
you need to sell
reach
this
out to
guy
us.
out.
And also, it's pretty small drop because
It's so
we wanted. So the idea was to be able to have this at the Beer Zombies that are allowed to have spirits.
Okay.
So out of the 16 cases, we spent 5 cases are going to Issa total. And that's it.
Wow.
That's total for.
and that's it, guys.
Yeah, that's not like 5 cases here, 5. It's 5 cases if you want to take a bottle, 5
Total.
cases. And anything else on that, if you want to try it, you have to come to either Beer Zombies or one of the Eureka took some
Eureka,
bottles.
okay.
Big Dog
Warm Springs, Dean
Big
Martin. Come on out.
Yeah, Big Dog.
Big Dog.
So you guys have it at
Bottle?
Dean Martin. You guys have it at some of the other locations.
We'll be doing
Okay.
pours at all the locations.
All right. Fantastic. And guys, I say just go to Corey's because you're also going to get a raffle ticket into his raffle for, I think it's every $25 you spend there, you get a raffle ticket. Guys, get in that raffle, get whatever you want tater bottle wise. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you miss out on this, you're missing out on
What's
it.
your sweet spot price wise? I'm just curious.
So I would say my sweet spot, this is pretty close. I think that, so I rate one of my near and dear to my heart bourbons is Rare Breed, Wild Turkey Rare Breed.
Okay.
That bottle typically comes in at about $60.
I'll say what, $59.99?
Yeah, and then I would say I would elevate that by Russell's Reserve.
You know
Another,
what's crazy?
right
But
there.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I was to say $74.99
it's kind of
to
like I'm
$80
okay with that.
is always
Yeah.
the go-to.
And I call it like a Payday Friday bottle. I think this falls in that category where any of you guys out there go down to Corey's once you guys get paid and throw $90 on
James,
this.
I ever tell you about my New Year's resolution?
What is
2-3 years ago?
that? No.
I think you would love this. Actually, I
Please.
think BJ you would love
He's
this.
good.
So
Please tell us.
I told you about this. You were about it. It was 3-4 years ago. It was right around the COVID time or whatever
Mhm.
we were doing the COVID stuff.
Okay.
So 52 weeks.
52 weeks.
I bought a different bottle of bourbon or whiskey
no
for
shit.
52 weeks and added to my shelf.
Okay.
You got 52 different bottles.
Yeah. So
That's like a lot
but
of
here's the
bottles.
thing, yeah, I went through. I literally I couldn't buy the same one.
That's
couldn't
fair.
Be the same anything. I mean, it got a little hard because it got pricey towards the end because you always probably the cheapest ones in the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, 52 bottles for the whole year, one each week on payday.
I'm assuming
That's
this
it.
is Payday Friday. This is how
Yeah,
this is.
payday.
That's
Friday.
what I'm saying.
I was
Like
I'm assuming this is
Yeah.
coming back to something.
I like to call it the Payday Friday bottle because let's be honest, everyone out there isn't buying bottles of whiskey every day.
No, not
Like,
at all.
hey, we're here on Wednesday. We got Friday coming up. A lot of you may be getting Christmas bonuses this Friday. Listen,
or Christmas presents.
or Christmas
this
presents.
is the bottle you want to buy,
Guys,
100%.
I'm telling you, please sell out Corey's this weekend. You have 4 days. You have tomorrow. You got Saturday and
I bought
Sunday. Well, you even
I
got
bought
tonight.
two.
You got a little bit more time.
I'm gonna buy a few.
Get down to Corey's and let's
A
sell these
few.
bottles, guys. I'm telling you guys, you gotta get it. Like
tell
I'm
you
gonna,
right
I'm gonna
now.
ask. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I'm gonna ask if I can just take this half little bottle home, but then I'm gonna buy.
No, you have that one.
Oh wow, look at
Yeah,
that.
of course. We always leave
Catch
you with
them,
a
catch them
bottle.
on tape.
We always leave you with a bottle when we do a
You
pitch.
do. They do. They leave us with many gifts.
I'm
so,
gonna end up
you know.
buying this for my white elephant.
Wow!
I got my secret white
How
elephant.
dare? No. That's. I almost want to say, how dare you? Because why would you give this up?
Well, I'm gonna buy one for me,
You're right.
and then I'm gonna have one for the white elephant. And so,
I haven't shaved my beard in forever.
Okay, that's fair.
well, that means you're saving some for later.
That's true.
I just haven't had time.
So what do you do with this white elephant?
So we do a white elephant in the family every year,
Okay.
where we do a secret white elephant gift exchange.
Okay.
And I can tell you right now, if the family is watching, and I know they always do,
Fam's watching.
this will be in a secret box in the White Elephant gift.
But here's the problem. Here's the thing.
Yes.
You got to put it in
I'm
a
gonna buy
weird,
one of these
awkward
bottles.
shaped box.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's a tall bottle.
It's a tall bottle. So
Oh yeah.
they-
No,
they
it'll be in
can't
a weird
tell.
box. It'll be in a weird box.
Yeah. Okay.
So
very
somebody
cool,
won't know
very
what
cool.
what it is.
All right. So I just gave this a 90. What are you guys giving it? I'm going to throw it down to BJ. What do you got?
Listen, I give it a 3 on the nose. I give it a 3 on the palate. This is a single barrel rare character release series. This is a single barrel series.
It's technically one of a kind.
Right? This is a 3. This is a hard to get, and for $89,
Guys, $90.
you're
This
getting
is
a
no-brainer.
one of a kind bottle. Yeah,
It's a no-brainer.
come on. Most of the time, rare character is doing 120 and up. 120 and up. So this is well underneath what they would typically price a bottle. This is a steal, bringing my total score at 9 out of 10, and I'm going to put this at my signature 93 out of 100.
That's pretty high.
So let me ask you this: is out of the picks that we've done, is this your favorite that we've done? Because
I
I
like
liked
this.
that Elijah Craig, right?
But I listen. I like Two
Or
Men and a
Traverse.
Zombie,
Which one was it? Yeah, Traverse.
but I really liked, and the one that I really, really, really liked was the Knob Creek.
That's right.
And I don't
you didn't
like
like Knob
Knob
Creek.
Creek.
That's what it was.
I hate
I couldn't remember what
Knob
it was.
Creek, but I loved your Knob Creek pick. It was so good. It was like salted peanut and Dr. Pepper. It was such a good pick.
I feel like a lot of my picks kind of have that same. So you said salted peanut and Dr. Pepper. We're
Mhm.
saying salt and caramel or apple pie, and
Yep.
so there's something in those that kind of resonates with me. It's that salty, sweet, not too sweet, not cloyingly, still has some heat on it. So they kind of all, you can start to taste what I like too.
I've known you for a while. Wait. I've known you for a while. You're not a soda drinker.
I don't drink soda at all.
No,
yeah.
at all.
Just beer and
But
water.
if you did, was Dr. Pepper your soda? No. What was it?
I'm only drinking soda like once in a while, and it's like a late night Mountain Dew from Taco Bell, like once a year.
Mountain Dew makes
Nice.
sense.
I don't,
Baja
but I don't
Blast.
drink soda. I don't drink soda. I don't drink soda at all. So
That's fair. That's fair.
Here's the thing about salt is that
Yeah.
salt, we eat salt because not only is it a flavor enhancer, but it actually turns on the electric field of our tongue.
Taste buds.
It
Yeah.
creates an electric field in our taste buds. It turns on the electrolysis of our olfactory senses. So I think that kind of going towards that salty flavor just means that you're
Salinity.
going towards a more flavor enhanced flavor. You're going towards a peak of something that's already high in flavor, and you're just kind of like turning it to 11. So I like that. I like that about your flavor
Yeah.
profile.
Guys, that's kind of it. I'm telling you, don't miss the boat. You need to get out there to Corey's. This
Get
is
there.
a $89.99 bottle.
Don't miss it.
There's so much shit out there. I'm going to be honest with you. Let's get straight. Let's get on the level with all you guys. There are so many awful store picks out there right now that are at stores all across the city. I'm not
Everywhere.
just calling anyone out.
All
You
y'all.
need to know and you need to be informed as a consumer in today's day and age. We know the economy. We know everybody's strapped right now, right? And they want to get the best value for their money. At $90, guys, I'm telling you right now, this is not only going to make a great gift.
Don't sit
This
on
is going to be just a great stocking stuffer or whatever. Get it for wives. Get it for your husbands, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. Get it for your other halves that want whiskey
Get it for
or
yourself.
bourbon. Because they're like, hey, get me a Bland's or get me a Pappy's for Christmas. No.
No.
Hey, you're never going to find that shit. Go to Corey's.
Don't kill
Get the
yourself
Beer
for that.
Zombies. You can't miss this label. It's probably one of the best labels I've seen from
Get
Rare
yourself
Character.
something that's going to look back at you from your bar the way that you
Yes.
look at your bar. Get yourself something that looks at you the way you look at your bar.
Just a dead
a
stare.
dead stare. Come on, that's the look
And-
of love.
And I'm kind of sad because this is all we have of it. And I always say that about single barrel picks is that once it's gone, it's gone.
That's the beauty of it.
That is the beauty of it.
Right.
But it's also not the beauty of it.
You could always buy a case.
You could always buy a case. You can always buy a case. Don't be a tater. We don't promote taterdom. We don't promote that. Keep it to 1 or 2 bottles per person,
Yeah,
please.
5 cases out in the wild. Don't buy a case, please.
Don't buy a case. Yeah. So I think with that,
With
everybody
that
gave
being
the
said,
rating.
I want to say just on behalf of Chris,
Yes.
myself, super happy for you guys always inviting us onto your podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
We
Thank you
couldn't
very
ask for
much.
Anything more? We love doing this. We can't wait to do the next one with you guys. At the end of the day, it was a huge opportunity for you guys to see Tenaya Creek Brewing, which is becoming Zombie Creek Brewing here very
Don't
soon.
call it Zombie Creek. Though.
We're not
You
calling
like
it Zombie
that? No, you
Creek.
want to call Beer Zombie Brewing?
If you call it Zombie Creek again, you're not allowed to come in here.
Oh
anymore.
my God, I'm never allowed in
We
here.
won't
Beer
call it
Zombie
that.
Brewing moving forward. He hates it.
Gentlemen, we thank you for your partnership. We'll say that you always invite us on when you do whiskeys and bourbons, and that you know that we are good aficionados of whiskey and bourbon. What do you forget?
Speaking of beer, the barrel is coming to us.
Oh, please.
Yeah,
What do you
I told
got?
you.
What's
Tell
going
us
on?
more.
Please
Tell us more.
us. Yeah, tell us more.
Here, I don't know if you can turn around or not. So those
Oh.
are some Smoke Ranch Barrel Aged God of Thunder, which is the
Smoke
Baltic
wagon.
Sorry,
Smoke wagon.
I said Smoke Ranch. Smoke Wagon.
Okay.
Barrel Aged God of Thunder, which is the Baltic Porter that Tenaya Creek puts out, and it's amazing.
Fantastic.
It's great. It's
God of Thunder is
delicious.
amazing.
So our barrel is coming for this pick, and we're actually going to rack a barrel that has been sitting for it's right around 7 months right now into the Rare Character barrel, and we'll let that sit for 6 months to a year and release it as a double barrel God of Thunder as kind of like a passing. It's Tenaya Creek Beer Zombies, so look out for that. And that will also be extremely limited. So if you get down to the bottom of the bottle, save like this much. That way, when the beer comes out, you can pair it with the bourbon. Just throwing that out.
Amazing.
Totally forgot about
Amazing.
Yeah.
Guys, that's awesome. So they're getting the barrel here at the Tenaya Creek. They're going to end up throwing some amazing stuff in there. You know how that pans out. It's always awesome. And I'm going to tell you right now, with the complexity and the layers that we talked about earlier, I cannot wait. I would say not only is that good in a stout, I could also see it in a barley wine. I'm super excited for both. Obviously, it's going to happen in a stout because God of Thunder is amazing, but that's fantastic. So very cool. BJ, do you have any parting words for us if I hand you the lab and take control
I'll come around
of the
here.
camera?
Oh, you're going to take control?
Yeah.
No parting words other than, listen, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you, Tenaya Creek, for having us tonight.
Absolutely.
And listen, I have to just say, we didn't talk about it, but we got to talk about it. Tonight is the 10-year anniversary of.
Forget about that too.
How'd you forget about it? It's the 10-year anniversary of putting the hop beard on the zombie. So we're gonna turn it. We got to turn it around.
Yeah. Vinny's got a lab there.
Listen. So
This
there's
is-
the original zombie.
And 10 years ago today, which landed on a Friday the 13th in 2013, I doodled and sketched the first top beard onto the zombie and wrote Beer Zombies on it and said, hey, I think this is going to be a thing. So it wasn't the start of actually putting product out. It was the start of the concept of the idea. And I dated it Friday the 13th, 2013. I have a Friday the 13th tattoo. It was like a whole, and that's also why we do, Friday the 13th is our honorary holiday for Beer Zombies. We do all so. But yeah, so today, 10 years to the day.
Wow, 10 years.
Yeah.
And I was just saying, I remember 10 years ago, we were at Atomic Liquor at some Atomic, what is it? Sour Saturday?
Sour Saturday, yeah.
Saturday. hanging
Super
out.
Sour Saturday.
A lot of you guys will know, you watch this, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that years ago. It's like, wow. Look how far these guys have come. Look how far everybody's come. It's
I'm
really
just
awesome.
fatter and grayer now. That's it.
Well, it's appropriate
bud.
because it's Christmas is
bud.
around
For
the
you,
corner
bud.
and Santa Claus.
We can talk about the things that happened in 10 years with you if you want. I
No,
know
we're
it's
gonna
good. Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to wrap us up. I think that's going to wrap us up, Beach.
It is. It's
So-
going to wrap us up. For the Barrel
For
Buddies.
the Barrel Buddies, I'm James.
And I'm BJ. We'll see you next
We'll
week.
see you next week, guys.
Guys,